What's up, guys? It's your boy Nova coming back at you with some more Auto Heroes, and today we're going to be talking about the two new game modes that we got this week, known as the Void Ark and the Galactic Tree. So let's get it. Okay, so one thing I want to go over before we get started into anything is keep in mind that this game mode has been out for 2 days now. Nobody really has any one size fits all. You should definitely be doing this type thing for this. This is going to be a lot of trial and error, so take some of this with a grain of salt. Alright, so what I want to do first is let's go ahead and jump into the navigation compass here, because this is where most of the magic is going to happen, if you will. This is where you're going to be able to explore a star-filled map, basically. So as you'll see here, we're on well, actually we've done 2 days now. This will be the start of day 3. I haven't placed many of my things yet. You're going to see a map here filled with different planetary nodes that you can explore, right? So basically, you're going to go around and explore all these different nodes, place heroes on them, and you're going to get resources for it. So right now, I'll go ahead and start off with this one because I think this one is going to be one of the most important ones that you do. This is the void load. Okay, the reason I say this is one of the most important ones is you get these Innova crystals, and especially starting out. Maybe later on we'll find that they're not quite as important, but I think right now to get the first egg or so, which you'll hatch in the galactic tree, which we'll get into in a minute. Getting as many of those as quickly as possible as you can is probably the best. Now you're gonna get this little thing where you can place a hero, right? So you can select all the way from a 6-star hero where you'll get negative resources for it. Well, not negative, but you'll get reduced resources for it. And you can put a 10-star where you'll break even, right? You just get the 50 and 2600 right there, all the way up to an E5, right? So if you put an E3, it'll get you plus 200%, plus 30%, plus 30%. A regular old E5 with no void enables, 400, 50, 50. And then if you've got one with void enables, it gives you another additional 10% per void enable. So like right now, my queen over here is V3. So if I put her in, she gets an additional 30% and 30% on the Innova crystals and the ingots, and 700% here for the exploration points. If I put my Tix right now, who's V4, he'll get 800%, 90%, 90%, right? So the void enabled heroes that you have are going to net you more resources, which I think just further ups the value of stellar shards right now, as if they weren't already, the most precious thing in the game at the moment. But anyways, being able to get 90% more of those crystal or the Nova crystals are going to really help in the early game, or the early part of this, I think, because this mode will reset once every 30 days. So any exploration that you've done on it, or any of the shops that you've upgraded or anything, that's all going to reset. The only thing that's going to carry over from one league season to the next, if you will, is going to be these crystals, and you'll see why that's important in a minute. So I'm going to go ahead and put my ticks in here. Okay, these planets all finish at reset the next day, right? So it doesn't matter if you do this 10 minutes before reset or if you do it 10 minutes after reset. It's they're all going to finish exploring the next day. You can place up to 15 heroes, right? So obviously the well, I guess more seasoned players who have a lot more E5s are going to have a little bit of advantage because they're going to be able to explore the map faster. But even starting out, you just have like say one E5 and a couple, I don't know, 10 stars or whatever. You're still going to be able to work your way through the map. It's just going to take you a little bit longer, is all, obviously. But once you've got that guy placed, now I can come up here, I can explore this one. This is the wrecked run, so this will give you any of the void nars and stardust, and what those are used for is that's going to upgrade your galactic tree, and there's going to be these things called star spawn that you'll be able to hatch, and that these stardust will be able to upgrade them levels and get them more stats and stuff, and we'll go over that in a minute as well. So these things I think are probably the second most important nodes. So, I'd put like your highest void enable here on the void loads, and then secondary, I'd come over here to the rect runs, right? So I know that with these, oh, that's another thing too. Actually, we should just talk about that real quick. Right here, these void loads, you'll see that I had to use one of these collector crystals, right up here. Okay, those reset once every 10 hours when you just start off with the level 1 shop. So I'm going to get another one here in 13 minutes, right? So you'll be able to do 2 definitely a day because you get 2 to start off with. You could probably do a third one, every third day or so. The first day I did 3 of these, but I only had enough to do 2 yesterday, right? And I'm probably going to have enough to do 3 today if I need to. But as you can see, there's only so many collector nodes on the map. You can see them once here, the void loads. So I've got 1, well, it won't let me click on it, but 2, 3, 4 left after that one, right? And I probably only have another day or so to explore this. So I'll probably do 3 of the collector nodes today, and then 2 on my last day of exploration before this map finishes. So yeah, just keep that in mind. So there's another resources that you need for these. So if you're clicking on it and it keeps telling you can't place a hero, that's probably why you don't have any of those. Just keep that in mind. But anyways, going back to the wrecked ruins, this one I would say after you put your top 2 or 3 void enabled heroes for the void loads, this is where you'll put the remaining highest power people that you have. So I know that I'm going to be doing 3 of the void loads today. So I'm going to, I've already placed my ticks. I'm going to put my queen on another one, and then I'm going to put I've got 2v1 heroes here in Ignis, and who's my other one? Oh, Forces. So I know I can place one of them on here and get an additional 10% of all the resources, right? So I'm going to go ahead and place that here as well. Okay, so let's go ahead and put him in there, and boom, now he's exploring this planet. Okay, so let's go ahead and explore further. We got another one. Now, I will say also, sometimes these have a chance to drop an egg instead of the Stardust and the Void Nars. I unfortunately have not been lucky enough to experience that yet. So I don't have any eggs to kind of show you guys, but just know that they do exist. They are a thing, and you can definitely find them. And I've seen people find somber eggs on their very first day, right? Which we'll get into why that's important in a minute. So you'll go around, place the stuff on the map. There you go. Here's one of the Transcendence vaults. I wanted to show you this one as well. So this is the third one. I think this one's probably the least important one, even though it has stellar shards, which, like I said, is uber important right now to void enable your heroes to get more resources. But I just believe that once we get star spawns, having enough of this Stardust here to upgrade them to get them as high as possible and get those increased stats for your team is gonna outweigh the few like 97 stellar shards. That's really not that much, to be honest. And and we don't know exactly yet. Like I said, it's been out 2 days. None of us have, well, I didn't say none of us, but very few of us have any star spawns. So 195 of these may not go a long way either. But I don't know, just seems pretty low. 97 stellar shards. It's like, okay, cool. And I know you're getting 400% of them with an E5 hero, but still, or actually, you're getting 50% more. So I mean, you're getting what, 140 some per. Yeah, when it costs 5 million to V4 a hero, it'll take a very long time, right? So these ones, like I said, you want to place a high level hero in there. Like I've got right on the dot 15 E5 heroes, so I can just place a regular E5 in there, not void enabled. But I would save, like I said, I would save your highest void enabled ones for the void loads, and then next the wrecked ones. Okay, so coming back out with all those resources that we're getting from those, we have a couple things here on the left hand side that we can upgrade. First off is the collector workshop. This, in my opinion, once you have enough, is probably the first thing that I'm going to go ahead and upgrade, just because I think this is going to give you your best bang for the buck, because you're going to be able to increase your cap from 2 to 3 of these collectors. Your production time, so how fast they refresh, is going to go down by a whole hour. So instead of every 10 hours, it's going to be 9 hours. Your Innova crystal production will increase by 600, and then your crystal ingot will increase by 65. That I think is all very, very useful for your crystal ingots. The only reason I haven't done it yet, because I have enough, is here in this next area, which I don't think you can actually see the map. No. In the next area, though, you need 3,900 of these crystal ingots, or the ingots up here. So I just wanted to make sure that I had enough to open up my next area before I went ahead and upgraded this, because I'd hate to upgrade it, go through all of this, explore all the map, finish, and then I'm just short by like 100 or something like that, and I have to go redo the first map. Because from everything that I've seen and read on like Reddit and stuff like that, the next map area will give you bigger resources, resource bonuses and stuff like that. So I want to make sure I do that, get that next map area before I upgrade this. But this will probably be the first thing I upgrade. Secondly, you have this spaceship lab. This is kind of useful as well, because there are PvP fights in here. Let's actually go back there and cover that real quick. So you're going to see these little nodes with like rocket ships on them somewhere. Here we go. So this guy right here. So you can actually loot somebody else's tile, basically, that they're guarding, and you'll get 20% of the rewards from them. They only lose 10%. So it's not like you're getting attacked 3 times a day and you're losing 60% of your production from that. It's just 10%. So up to 30% a day that you can lose. So you want to make sure you're setting your strongest PvP lineup that you can. But definitely you want to make sure you're going through and doing these each day. There's 3 of them that'll pop up. There's also a Void Lord that'll pop up. It looks like it's only once per map though. And that's this disintegrator stuff here at the top. We'll go over that in a second. But I've already beat him. The first level was super easy. I mean, I didn't really change hardly anything around. And I don't think he ever got my guys to below 95% HP. And they were stunned like 90% of the time. So I think even beginners with just one E5 hero will have no problems clearing the Void Lord on this first map. But these crystal contests, come over here, you click on it, you're going to do a PvP battle. So make sure you set whatever PvP lineup you have. Let's go ahead and watch this fight. And it's blind. You can't see who you're fighting to, rearrange your team on. So, hopefully, you get somebody who you can beat, and it's not, somebody with, 13 million power and 2 V4, Scarlet Queens and SFXs and whatnot, and you're able to plunder it. Okay, there we go. We won. We got 50 of the exploration points and 520 Innova crystals, right? And you'll just go through and find the 3 a day. It helps to zoom out on the map instead of just scrolling all over the place. Like here's one right there. So 308 power. This guy's probably going to be a little bit more difficult. Let's see. Yeah, he's got a SFX at least. Alright, and took care of her. Okay. So, I mean, like I said, you get an idea. It's just a PvP battle. I'm pretty sure they just place you in a bracket of people more or less equal power or level to you. Not exactly sure how that works, but I don't think you're going to be getting a ton of, V4 Void Enable heroes if you're just got 1 or 2 E5s on your team, right? Where's this other guy? Oh, here he is. And we'll just go ahead and smash this one. We don't need to watch that. Okay, cool. So we got those 3. Make sure you're doing those 3 a day. It takes like a couple seconds. Doesn't take much of your time. And this part, honestly, I'm going through and showing you how optimally to do it. If you really wanted to, say you're super busy that day, you can come over here, hit smash, and then, go through, yes, whatever, and then hit smash and smash it. I personally like to control where I put my heroes. Obviously to get more resources out of certain nodes, but if say you just don't want to mess with it, okay, cool. At this point, you're probably not watching this video either. Let's be honest. But anyways, going back to the Spaceship Lab, you'll see why these PvP things are helpful. You can upgrade your HP, looks like by 10% there per node, or per upgrade, 6% attack, and 10% or 10 speed. So that'll help you win those PvP fights, especially if you're struggling on some of them. This right side over here with the strategic supply, this is for the Void Lord battles. This might be more useful later on in the later maps when hopefully the Void Lords are a little bit stronger. But for right now, like I said, that first one was ridiculously weak. I wouldn't recommend spending anything in here. Later on, like I said, we might discover that this is actually very useful and you want to go ahead and do the upgrades on it. But for right now, I just don't see it being super necessary. Which leads us to this third one, the Arcane Nexus here at the bottom. This grants you more Disintegrator Caps. What those are used for is those Void Lord battles. There's one per map. The first one I killed in 10 seconds on the first day, and it brought me, and it takes 5 Disintegrator Caps per. I was back to 15 within, I don't know, couple hours. I didn't look at the time, but it wasn't very long at all, to be honest. So I've been capped at 15 this whole time. This might come into play later on a lot more prevalently, but at the moment, I honestly can't say I could, in good conscience, advise anybody to upgrade this, at least not right away. Maybe, day 20 of this, when we're on, the 4th or 5th map at that point or whatever, and the Void Lords are actually kind of hard, and you need more than one attack to get through them, maybe. But for 2650, I just can't justify that, especially when you can come over here for 3950 in the Collector Workshop and just get so much more out of those same crystal ignits, right? So, I don't know. I wouldn't mess with this one, to be honest. At least not right now. Later on, once we have some more data and people have, done some more, got a little bit further and there's more to go off of, maybe. But I don't know. And then finally, with all these extra resources and stuff that we're getting, we have this shop, basically, to use it all at, called the Central Hall. This is where most of the strategy, I guess, comes into, just in the sense of this is the only thing that carries over from one league season to the next, right? So every 30 days, this is all going to refresh. It doesn't matter if you get to, the level 4 of your shop. 30th day, boom, you're back to level 1, whatever. The crystal, Innova crystals here at the top, the one there I have 46,000 of, those do carry over. So you really have to kind of have a target of what you're going to be going for. And I would honestly say save these until you reach that target, just in case you don't get there. Okay, so say let's just this first 30 days. My target is this somber egg down here. And I'll explain why here in a minute. But say I don't know what the production for these is going to be like yet. It's very, very likely that this 27, or 277,000 that we need to get to this level 3 is very easy. Like I said, it's been 2 days in. I already have 46,000, so it shouldn't be too much of a problem. But let's just say, for argument's sake, I don't get quite enough to get this egg. Well, now I've spent them all, on all of this stuff before, and I didn't get where I wanted. Okay. So I would honestly say just save them for right now, because it doesn't do you any good, really, to go through. I have 46,000. I could come through here, buy all the stellar shards, because that's only 15,000, buy all of the void nars, and buy all the stardust. And that way I could buy all 3 of them right now. But it doesn't really get me anywhere, because I don't have a star spawn to upgrade. My galactic tree I could get a couple more levels of, but that's marginal upgrades at best, and I'll explain what that does in a minute. And the stellar shards, yeah, that'd be useful, 15,000 of them. But I mean, that's just to give you an example here. My queen, if I'm trying to get, say, some more speed on her, it costs 69,000 to get 1 imprint of that. So 15,000 from that one shop is not even a fourth of the way there. Is that really going to be game breaking if I buy that day one or not? No, not really. Not at all. But yeah, so I don't know. I would hold on to them as long as you can because like I said, you just don't want to get all the way right before your target. You've used them all, and then just comes to find out you aren't generating enough to get there, right? Before the league thing resets. Whereas if you saved them all, say you weren't going to be able to quite get there, it resets. Well, now you've got a head start on the next kind of league season or whatever to get where you want. And why this is important is these two tiers, 4 and 5. You'll notice that down here you can get some nice fancy cores of Transcendence for free. No, doesn't cost you any gems, doesn't cost you any money. That's super, 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 super good. Because like we've talked about, cores are like the end all be all currency right now. Not only does that guarantee you a 5-star hero or a sphere of Transcendence, which you can convert to 250,000 crystals of Transcendence or stellar shards, but it also grants you a little bit of crystals Transcendence just for the summon itself. So, you're getting kind of doubled up on the resources there. So you're able to get 4 from this one and 6 from this one, right? That's 10 each month that you can get perfectly for free, that you don't have to come over here to the marketplace and buy the 1500 gem one each day. Or you don't have to go over to the value packs and spend whatever money that you're going to spend on them, right? So I think that's probably going to be the best bang for most people's buck as far as these Unova crystals go. Now, like I said, what I'm going to do is I'm going to prioritize getting this Somber Egg, and how I'm going to do that is you have to spend. If you'll notice up here, it says to unlock this store, you need to consume 132,000 Unova crystals. Well, you'll notice that if you buy everything up here on the top and the heroic scrolls, that's only going to bring you to 120,000. So you won't quite get there without buying the egg. So you have to buy the egg. So after that's rule number 1 is just buy the egg, right? Once you're going to spend these on to get to wherever you're going to get, buy the egg. Then I would say I would prioritize stellar shards, because not only does that upgrade your character for every game mode that we have, but it also is going to net you more resources here in the navigation hall where, oh look, I got another collector. We can come up here, grab this guy. Let's put queen in. The more void enables I have on this queen, the more that I'm getting when I go through these void loads, right? So I'm getting 80% more Unova crystals, which I'm going to be able to use at the shop, right? So you see how that's like a compounding effect. So I would say, let me go ahead and put her in there. I would say this is probably going to be the second most valuable thing. Well, it's probably the most valuable thing. But you have to buy the egg. So I'd say buy that second. Then third, I'd say probably these Stardust. Even though I don't have a star spawn right now, once I do get one, I'm going to need this stuff to level him up, right? And the higher I'm able to get him, the more bonuses he's able to provide for my team, the stronger my team is, okay? The third most thing is probably this Void Gnar. It's really we're going to have to do some more testing and see how it really affects the pets, as far as if it's going to be very useful when they get higher level. For right now, like I have my Galactic tree at level 6, and I think it gives him 6% increased damage. The pet doesn't do a ton of damage. You don't really using the pets for the damage. You're using them for the bonuses they provide for your team. Whether that's reduction in speed or for the enemy team, or it grants you a holy damage buff or stuns them or whatever it is. The damage that they do is pretty meh. Early game, it's pretty powerful just because it outscales a lot of the heroes at lower enable levels. But once you get to the end game and they're all E5 and stuff, you're hardly going to feel like if Phoenix goes off and does maybe 1,000,000 damage per tick on somebody. Yeah, that's all right, but it's nothing to write home about, right? So improving that by 6% is, I don't know, marginal. Now, granted, my tree's only at level 6. That we could come to find out later on that could prove to be very useful, but I don't know. Maybe, maybe not. Um, the only other thing I would consider buying is instead of it is the Crystals of Transcendence. Either one is going to get you to your goal. So if you buy this and these, that's 15,000 and another 7,500. So that's going to put you at 122,500 crystals used. So this will get you another 10,000, and that'll put you at 132. This will put you at 135. Either way, it'll get you to your goal. It depends on which one you value more. If you're trying to get some more of these to get some more Void Heroes, cool, great, grab that. If you want to go grab this to get, your pets damage a higher level, cool. I could see the argument for both. I wouldn't argue one way or the other. But either way, you're going to have to grab one of those two to get to the next tier. Same thing here. You need to consume basically another 100 and what? 35,000? 45,000. So another 145,000. The egg, I'm pretty sure, is another 100,000. And then, your stellar shards, your crystal transcendence, stuff like that, all going to be roughly the same as far as cost goes. So this one, it's 1,500 crystals for 1,500 Nova crystals. So this one's going to be 2,250 stellar shards for 2,250 Nova crystals, so forth and so on. So same thing, buy the egg, buy the stellar shards, buy the stardust, and then whatever you need to get to the next level. If you want Void Nars, Crystal Transcendence, cool, whatever. Shop 3, the third level is where it gets interesting, especially when we're first starting out. And the reason I say this is because it gives you a somber egg. Now, this is a perfect segue to our next spot. The somber eggs are one of the star spawns, right? So you come over here. This is the galactic tree. All the little star spawns will kind of sit here on these little petals of the tree, I guess. And what they are is they're basically like Celestial Island towers, right? They grant your buffs to your team. Now these only work in like PvP battles and stuff like that. Whereas I think these star spawns, they give you the bonuses for all the game modes. But it's increases to your team power wise. Here we go. So looking at them, you have different ones. You've got these ones. The chaotic egg ones are basically faction specific. Okay, so this one is for any shadow heroes, right? They're going to get an extra bonus. All of your heroes are going to get this fixed attack and the armor break. Shadow heroes will get an additional 50% of that. So they're going to get an additional 50% attack. And then, instead of 30% armor break, 45% armor break, right? Same thing for this one. This is for fortress heroes. Get a 50% extra block and HP. The abyss heroes attack and attack. And this one's for forest. HP, HP. Okay. So it's going to be useful no matter which one you get, because it's going to be increasing stats on your team, whether that's HP, attack, armor break, whatever. Those specific heroes for those factions will gain bonuses. The reason I say the somber eggs are the best ones, at least for most endgame players, is because not only are they buffing the light and dark stuff that are going to be your better heroes for the most part, they also give the best stats. So as you notice, the light one gives you a crazy amount of HP, a fair amount of attack, and then that 18% holy damage for everybody is huge. But then light heroes are also going to get an additional 9% on top of that, so 27% holy damage on top of, let's just say for a Russell, right? Russell already gets a ton of holy damage. So you come over here to his skills. He gets 80% holy damage just based from his passive skill. Well, once that thing's leveled and maxed out, that's an additional 27%. So he's just base is going to be rocking 107%, which just increases his damage even further. So that's going to be crazy good. Also, let's come back over here. In those same area is the Transcendence one. Same thing, HP, attack, and it gives all damage bonus. The all damage is one of the best multipliers in the game, because after everything else is factored in, your armor break, your holy damage, all that kind of stuff, whatever that final damage number is, you're just adding percentage points on top of that. So now say I was going to do, 10 million damage. Well, if I'm doing an extra 9 million damage or 9% on top of that, so now I almost just gained another million damage on top of that. So it's 10.9 million, whatever for that attack, which is huge. Transcendence Heroes get an additional 50% of that, so they're going to be at 13.5% all damage. So it's just going to make them even more cracked out than what they are. The Somber Eggs, I believe, give the best stats out of all of these ones. These ones are your class-specific ones. So this one's for Warriors, crit damage resistance, control immunity offset. This one's actually going to be really, really broken on Sherlocks, as if they weren't a problem as it is. But it's basically a Rui Scepter for them. And if they're already running Rui Scepter, you can see how that's going to get really stupid. Because then you're just going to see doves all over the place. Dodge offset, that's going to hurt carries a little bit, drakes, stuff like that. This is an interesting one for assassins. They're going to hit harder the less HP your enemy has. And this one is, increased healing for priests. Okay, cool. But I think these somber ones are going to be giving you the best bang for your buck. Now, the reason I say I am going to push this shop level 3 as quick as I can to get the somber egg is because the first one that you open, if you come over here, it'll say in the help menu, so this one, number 5, when you do not own any star spawn, your first incubated void egg will guarantee you a star spawn. So the first egg that you open, no matter if it's a somber, chaotic, or entangled, it's going to guarantee you a star spawn because they don't always have a 100% chance to drop. They have a 7% chance to drop, and then there's like a 93% chance to gain different materials. Whether that's stuff to level up your chaotic tree or stardust to level them up. You don't always get one of the star spawns out of the eggs. So to get one right away, you're going to want to get one of these good ones right away. I would say you're going to want to summon a somber egg first. Well, if you're not lucky like me and you don't get one on your first day, like some people I know, then this is the strat that you're probably going to want to do if that's your goal, to get one of these right away. Who knows? Maybe you open one up over here and you grab the dark one, which out of the 3, honestly, I think is the worst one because skill damage is, it's okay, but it's nothing to write home about. It does grant you the highest fixed attack out of any of them, but, I don't know. I would much rather have either the light or transcendence one, right? But either way, this is still a very decent one to get for your first one. Yeah, I don't know. I would say this is probably the strategy that most people are going to want to employ, at least to start off with. Now, after this, you're only guaranteed one every 15 eggs. So feel free if you get some chaotic eggs or some entangled eggs or whatever, which are the class-specific and faction-specific ones, go ahead and awaken them. They take 20 hours to awaken. You can speed it up with gems, but I think it's like 1,000 per egg, so I don't view that as worth it. Unless you're a whale, then just, whatever, have at it. But I would save any somber eggs that you get and until you have all 3 of them for that 15th one to guarantee you another star spawn. But like I said, you have a 7% chance to grab one, even, just awakening it, no problem. If you pray to the RNG gods, hey, that might work out for you and you can fill this thing up pretty quickly. But I think for most of us, this is probably going to take a while to get all the star spawn and get them leveled up. This is the new kind of end game celestial island, if you will, where everybody was, when this came out, was rushing to upgrade their speed towers. And in fact, I think I still have one more level in the speed tower, and then, once you're finished with that, then you're trying to up your attack towers and so forth and so on. It's kind of the same thing, just in a different skin, I guess. But, yeah, so that's how the star spawns work. As far as the galactic tree, like I said, you just use these void nars, you upgrade it. So up until level 6, I got 1% monster damage bonus. Okay, cool. So I've got some more of it. We'll go ahead and up it up a little bit. So now I'm getting 1.1%. And we'll just stop at 10. Wow, that's all I have anyways. So now at level 10, I have an increased 10.4% monster damage, which, like I said, is cool. It might prove to be very useful later. I think just right now, though, looking at him, you know, it deals 450,000 burn damage against 4 random allies. 10% of that, okay, it's an extra 45,000. Still, when you're talking about characters with, you know, millions and millions of HP, this is just his base HP, not counting any kind of bonuses he's getting once he gets into the fight. You can see how that is hardly a tickle, right? So, I don't know. Maybe when it's leveled up to, oops, wrong one. Maybe once it's leveled up to, like, I think it goes up to 360, I think, or 240, something like that. Then I could see how it could be really, really good. But at least initially starting out, I don't know. Seems a little underwhelming for me. But yeah, that's basically it in a nutshell. It's just more free resources, basically. It's a really cool map to kind of go through and explore. It's got some kind of more in-depth strategy as far as if you you want to push the leaderboards. It is beneficial to try and get as high as you possibly can, because you'll get all this stuff at the end of the season. These eggs, it can be a chaotic, entangled, or somber one. So, you know, depending on how your luck is, that could turn out to be great. The higher up, the more eggs you get, the more of the cores you get to level them up to different enhancement points. Yeah, so definitely want to, I guess, get as high as you can on that if you care about it. Otherwise, just come through, hit the smash button, grab the resources, get free stuff, and just kind of forget that it exists. You know, that's what most people do with Celestial Island anyways, right? They just come in here, they grab their stuff, they smash their little islands once the treasures are out of the way. Okay, and they come over here and they're like, oh, cool, I have 7 attacks. Let me just go through and do them, right? Oh, okay, cool, I got 66%. Or 0.66%. Movement increase. Okay, let's do a PvP battle. Skip it. Okay, same thing. All right, cool. And then they use it and then they forget about it, right? Everybody just loves to smash stuff. So if that's your thing, come in, smash it, grab the stuff, buy whatever you want with it, and then cool. If you want to push it a little bit more in depth, though, I would say probably follow some kind of strategy like that. It is day 2. So this is all subject to change. Nobody really has a definitive answer of like, oh, you should definitely be doing this or that or this or that or whatever. Find kind of what you like and what you think is working best for you. But this is the way that I'm going to be going about it, and we'll see how it goes. You know, it might get to the end of the season and and I sucked. But you know, as of yesterday, I haven't done all of my stuff today. I'll go through and I'll plan them all here in a little bit. I just wanted to show you guys a little bit of what it was. But yeah, as of yesterday, I was ranked 293, I think. So, you know, I'll be in this second group here where I'm getting 4 eggs and then a bunch of those materials. So far so good. We'll see how it is, you know, later on. But yeah. Anyways, those are the 2 new game modes. Hope this helped. Hope this answered a couple questions that people had, because I know a lot of people were all over the place on what should I do, where should I be putting stuff yesterday. This will kind of give you an idea, and you can kind of, you know, go from there. All right, guys. Well, thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed it. Smash that like and subscribe, and I'll catch you on the flip. Peace.